And now, ladies and gentlemen, a special 10-round bout. This is in the welterweight division. When the bell rings, the man in charge of the action, referee Benji Estevez. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black trimmed with gold and weighing in at 146 pounds. From Crofton, Maryland, he bangs a record of 20 victories with 10 KOs against 8 defeats. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the punishing Paisan Jeff Passero. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the solid black trunks and weighing 146 1/2 pounds. His record an outstanding 137-1, 14 KOs. Ladies and gentlemen, the pride and joy of Mount Vernon, New York, Larry Noki Barnes.
I'm already giving you pre-bout instructions. Obey my commands. And good luck to both of you. Touch up and good luck to both of you. Let's go.
First round action with schedule for 10. We've got welterweights here. Larry Barnes comes out fast with a left hook. Interesting to point out that Jeff Passero took a 10-year hiatus from boxing after getting knocked out in his 2 fights in 1983 by people with the names like Arnie Wells and Greg Coverson. Took 10 years off, came back in September of 93, won 3 straight. Been stopped though in his last 2 fights against Jeff Graffis and former world champion comebacking Billy Costello. Larry Barnes, of course, has lost only 1 fight, and that was way back in 1990 to Saoul Mamby, former world champion, losing a 10-round decision, very close one, got cut in the process. Won the NABF Welterweight Championship from Harold Brazier back in May of '93. Defended that title 1 time, getting away with a very close decision against Darryl Lattimore, who's a bit of a spoiler. It's a little more than a minute gone by here in round number 1.
Let him go, let him go.
That's Larry Barnes in the black shorts. Jeff Passero out of Hillcrest Heights, Maryland, the black with the gold trim. And he's been eating left hooks all night here from Barnes. Barnes would like to get this one over rather quickly so he could think about his world title shot with Felix Trinidad. Wouldn't like anything after all these years of waiting to put that on the shelf. One of those fighters that's been avoided quite a bit. And for good reason. He's what you'd call a cutie. And he's been in there with some big name fighters. He and Lattimore beat Darryl Lattimore a couple of times. Of course, the loss to Saoul Mamby. Been in with Miguel Santana, beat Glenwood Brown in a 10-round decision. As we mentioned, won the NABF title. Oh, and a good left hook hurts Passero as he goes bouncing off the ropes. Barnes trying to capitalize on it again. Not known for his knockout power with the 14 KOs and 37 wins. Eats a combination for Passero on the way in as 30 seconds to go in the first round. We're scheduled for 10. We're on Prime International. I'm your host, Arnie Tokyo Rosenthal. 2 more big championship fights, world title fights coming up. Passero looks to the ref, try to get the punches of Larry Barnes kept up. There's under 10 seconds to go in the first round. Good one for the #1 contender, Larry Barnes. Take a look at the corner there of the #1 welterweight in the world, Larry Barnes. Been fighting since 1988, still hasn't gotten that world title shot.
Yeah! Yeah! There you go! There you go! There you go!
And stay a little close. Work for some straight punches too. Wait for some more. Good. Okay? Watch his mouth. Watch his mouth. Okay? Let him want the straight punches. And work on that switch time. The W's working, right? So you work on that. Okay? Stay downstairs. Nice and relax.
We take a look at action here from round number 1. Watch the left hand coming here from Barnes. And that was the shot that hurt Passero, but he wasn't able to follow up on it. We take a look at it from another angle. Passero came bouncing off the ropes, almost caught a good hand. Good right from Barnes. And it's round number 2. We're scheduled for 10. Coming to you from the Atlantic City Convention Center. We're scheduled for 10 here. Jeff Passero took a 10-year sabbatical from boxing. Didn't fight from 1983 to 1993 after 2 straight knockout losses. Now has those same problem. 2 straight knockout losses, having just lost it, getting stopped by Jeff Grafis, and then in April by comebacking Billy Costello. Has his hands full right now, though, with Larry Barnes, and those heads clashed very hard in there on the way in. A little more than a minute gone by here as that left hook lands again on Passero. Barnes got him pinned against the ropes, but Passero tying him up. Passero has that big height and reach advantage. He's 6 foot to Barnes is 5'5". He's got a 74-inch advantage, 74-inch reach compared to 68 on Larry Barnes. Nice jab work from Passero, starting to get that jab moving. That's really his only shot tonight against Barnes, is to keep Barnes off with that sharp jab. You got a 6-inch reach advantage, use it. Barnes trying to get inside, work the body. Under a minute to go in round number 2, scheduled for 10. Barnes in the black shorts, that's Passero in the black with the gold trim. Oh, good left hook again by Barnes. Passero keeps dropping his right. Winches at the referee. Ref's not going to help him right now. Under 10 seconds to go in round number 2. Another good round for the #1 contender, Larry Barnes. Take a look now at Jeff Passero. Has to be wondering how wise a decision it was to come back after 10 years of inactivity. Let's listen in.
Let's get them punches out, man. Come on, Jeff. Come on, Jeff. You beat the ball, right? Because you're waiting on him. Don't wait on him. Hit and move.
Concentrate on this. Understand.
Larry Barnes with an ice mask.
Okay, step in with your style. Don't be short. It takes 2 steps, you take it. Okay, you're doing good. You're going to stop this guy. Concentrate, don't relax. Okay, when you stand there, I'll beat you. Back home. Okay, don't relax. A little bit too anxious. Okay? You're looking good, baby. You can't take no more. Concentrate. Yes, baby.
Let's go.
Round number 3, we're scheduled for 10. We're coming to you live from the Atlantic City Convention Center. Another good round for Larry Barnes. His trainer, A.D. Dragone, between rounds telling him this guy can't take much more. That's Passero in the black with the gold trim, and of course, the #1 contender. Wanting to get past this night and on to his world title fight with Felix Trinidad, possibly scheduled for this fall. Been chasing that dream for a while. And in spite of the fact that he won the NABF title from Harold Brazier way back in May of '93, we're in the summer of '95 and he still hasn't fought for the world title with a 37-1 record. Looking very sharp tonight as we're about a minute gone by in round number 3, and again that left hook is landing. Passero finally gets the idea and tries to keep his right hand up, but within a matter of seconds it's got to drop down there again. Barnes keeps coming over the top with that hook. Passero tying him up on the inside. Referee decides to let him try to fight out of this one. Got to watch out that the heads don't clash when they're in close like that. Oh, and the left hooks are just digging in there. Passero looks over to his corner and takes a deep breath, as if they're going to tell him what to do. Trying not to make it 3 straight KO buys on his record. But right now, got very little legs left under him as Larry Barnes continues to move in and tattoo him at will, especially with that left hook. Barnes goes downstairs right now, tries to follow it up with a left hook to the head. Passero continues to look over to his corner as if to say, oh boy, what a mistake this was. Way out of his league right now. Good right hand lead lands by Larry Barnes. Oh, and another good left hook. Passero shakes his head no. I think he wanted to shake his head to see if it was still on his neck. Barnes working the body. Oh, finally makes Passero double over. Passero, as we come to the end of round number 3, a big round for Larry Barnes, and you got to wonder how much more punishment like that Passero can take as we go back to Passero's corner.
Nothing to worry about. Real small, real small. Real small. Nothing to worry about. You gotta let your fucking uppercut go, because I'm telling you right now, that's the hardest he's hit you right there. Let it fucking go.
Take a look at action here from round number 3, and there's that left hook that's been lasting all night. And watch, Passero shakes his head as if nothing happened. Well, I got to tell you, he was shaking it to see if it rattles. Larry Barnes been laying that left hook in there now for 3 straight rounds, and there's a little abrasion above the left eye of Jeff Passero. Keep an eye on that cut above the left eye as round number 4. Unofficially, it's been all Larry Barnes. We got Larry Barnes up at the end of 3, 30-27. We're scheduled for 10. We're on Prime International. I'm Arnie Tokyo Rosenthal. 2 more big world title fights come in between rounds. Passero's corner told him to start using that uppercut, and he landed a nice one there on Larry Barnes, but you don't want to throw it from that far outside. He wants to get a little bit closer. Last person I know in a title fight who threw an uppercut from that far out was a fellow named Buster Douglas against Evander Holyfield, and he was counted out seconds later. Passero tries to land that uppercut again, but from long range. A little tentative now because of the body work that's been delivered by Larry Barnes. Almost halfway gone in round number 4. We're scheduled for 10. Barnes has been 10 rounds countless times. And it's been 12-round once when he won the title, twice when he won the title from Harold Brazier, the NABF title that is, and defended it one time going 12 rounds against Darryl Lattimore. Passero has been 10 rounds twice in losing efforts, getting stopped in the 10th round both times. Once by Billy Costello in his last fight, and once back in his first tenure as a fighter back in 1982 by Mark Harris. Under a minute to go in round number 4. Passero tying him up in close. Barnes starting to unleash that left hook again, trying to get it to the point where he can land it to the body and come right upstairs with the hook and keep Passero's arms down. Again, though, Barnes has only had 14 knockouts in his 37 wins. None of his knockouts have actually come against the bigger names that he's fought. Most of those people he's beaten by decision. The Harold Braziers and the Lattimores of the world. As we come to the end of round number 4, not much aggression on the part of Jeff Passero.
I want you to concentrate more. Turn the ring off and stay close. When you're close to him, you beat him at his own game. Straight punches, Larry, okay? Okay? You're making him circle you. You're not cutting the ring off. Okay? That's not what we worked on. Okay? You follow me? You got to concentrate and cut the ring off. When you're close, you don't have to always come with the hook. Come with straight punches. Okay? Step in, step right in. He's waiting for you. He's like it's a bear. Okay?
Good.
Cabis.
Good stopping, bro.
Okay? Don't let him get the confidence. You got to concentrate and cut the ring off. You know how to do it. Okay?
Don't follow.
And keep your hand to your cheek. Don't give him your hands, okay? Come on. Okay, we'll stop this guy.
That's the whole one, right?
Round number 5, we're scheduled for 10. And you can hear in between rounds as A.D. Dragon was applying the Dragon mask to the face of Larry Barnes. It's an anti-swelling, cooling off type of in-swell of sorts, if you will. They want to see more activity from Barnes, who's in the black shorts, against Passero when they're in close like this. Passero seems to be tying him up. Passero has a much bigger reach. He's a 74-inch reach as compared to Barnes' 68. He's also 6 foot compared to Barnes' 5'5". But as compared to the fight that we previously saw, where the man with the reach advantage and height advantage, Derek Gainer, was able to use it, Passero hasn't been able to get anything started and has been eating left hooks all night long from Barnes, and a lot of tough body work as well. Minute gone by in round number 5. Oh! Passero, oh, they call that a slip. I got to tell you, he went down on his own. Arthur McKinney sends up the count, which leads me to believe that Arthur thought it was a knockdown. And Larry Barnes puts him down again. And I got to tell you, the referee was definitely mistaken the first time around. That was a knockdown the first time. Down the second time here, he's counting over Passero. Oh, I don't think, well, no, they're going to stop it. That was a knockdown the first time. Larry Barnes takes a little bow there. Because we got a 5th round knockdown. I don't know what the referee was looking at in that particular case, but I've got to tell you, that first time he was down was no slip. It was definitely a knockdown. And if we get the replays, it'll show that. It was set up by a short right hand, which hurt Passero, followed by a body shot.
Good fight, man.
And upstairs, then he put Passero back down again for what was the unofficial second knockdown and the official first knockdown. And we take a look at the replay here. In round number 5, we were scheduled for 10. There's that short right. And that didn't look like any sort of a slip to me whatsoever, as you see Passero holding his head. We take a look at it from the other side, and you could tell that was the great body shot Good right to the body. Took the wind out of Passero, and that had been started by a short right hand, and you see Passero holding his head. However, the referee didn't call that a knockdown. Arthur McCanny, the timekeeper, sent the count up there, which led me to believe that Arthur thought that first droppage was a knockdown. Nevertheless, Larry Barnes improves to 38-1 with 15 knockouts. We're going to go up to ring announcer Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes as referee Benji Estevez reaches the count of 10. The official time, 1 minute, 34 seconds of round number 5. The winner by knockout victory, the #1 ranked welterweight in the world, Larry "No Fear" Barnes.
There you have it.